Hi there YouTubers, welcome back to my channel, Workshop Fun. I'd just like to post a little update video about what's been happening with my caravan lately. There has been quite a bit, and it's all good stuff. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my battery bank. It's completed now. There is 3 batteries underneath here. 3 100 amp hours lithium ion phosphate, or commonly known as Life P04. So yeah, I had to just build another, or not build, fabricate another stainless steel bracket. Just added another wooden spacer in, and then slotted the third and final battery in, and then I made up another couple more cables to run the third battery in parallel with the existing 2. So that was good. And then to get at it, I cut out a square from this wooden ply, I guess you'd call this stuff. Wooden ply. And yeah, I cut out a decent oblong, and then that gave me my access for the third battery underneath there, hooking up the big fat cables in parallel, and then just made this nice little wooden cap up, also out of a bit of ply, as you can tell, and just screwed it in, so if I ever need to service that battery I can get to it, and I don't have to rip the whole battery bank out just to get to, say, the terminals or whatever. So that's great. It's all working nicely, works very well, and yeah, it's a great little area for the batteries. It's worked out really well. The other thing that I've done lately is quite a big one as well. I decided with my inverter that I would like to be able to use my inverter with the battery bank and the solar panels to turn around and power all my AC outlets through my caravan. Now, I didn't bother getting a multi-plus or quadro. I sort of went down the road of keeping everything individual, as I've stated in my past videos. So, looking for a transfer switch made by Victron was a bit challenging. They only sort of make 2, and they're not really they're not smart ones, so they're not Bluetooth compatible and all of that like the rest of their stuff. So they're kind of like an afterthought by Victron, because Victron, well, they just really ain't into them, because they go down the other route of quadros and multi-pluses now, and the multi-pluses 2s, and they even got some multi-plus Subro or GX. So yeah, there's heaps of cool things that they're up to, but yeah, transfer switches on their own, yeah, they're not really one of them. So I looked around, and I came up with this very cool transfer switch. I'm just gonna pull my wooden slats out of the way. So this is the latest MOES. I think it's pronounced MOES. It is a 80 amp transfer switch, and it's Bluetooth control. So you can either be grid tied, or you can be inverter tied, or you can be in automatic mode with it, and you can do that all over your phone. So that in itself is fantastic. It's got a voltage reader, so you can have it automatically cut out and cut in. I found voltage is a bit of a weak indicator. It's good if you just want to cut your batteries out as like a emergency, drop off. But if you want to have your battery charges synced with the time that it drops out and have your battery charges automatically start, I kind of wish they'd put in a state of charge reader with this unit, but they haven't done that. So anyway, I'm going to be using it more in the manual mode through the app, like, basically what I'll be doing with it is setting it to inverter, so all my AC outlets will work through the inverter, and then I'll be just turning it off basically with not this switch. This is an on and off switch for it, but if you disconnect this wire here, this is its voltage reader, it automatically shuts the transfer switch off. So I'm just going to put a normal on-off switch between this and run it back down to the wall somewhere here underneath the sofa, and that will be my on and off switch for my transfer switch. And then I don't have to, pull all my sofa apart and everything just to turn the transfer switch off. So that's fantastic. So anyway, I'll power it on, and you can see, there we go. So right now it's set to the grid. Now I'll turn my inverter on. Okay, so I'm just going to come up here to my neat little touch display. Oh, hang on, I better also turn my chargers off. So they're off. Now I'm just going to come up here to my little display. I'm going to turn the inverter on. Right, so the inverter's on. Now, here we go. Maybe I should turn this light off. Might be able to make it a bit clearer. So, just going to try and hold the thing here. There we go. So right now it's grid. Am I pressing the wrong button? There we go. There you go. Over to the inverter. And my 240 volt light up there didn't even flicker. Now, just to show that that's definitely over to the inverter, I'll come back up to here. There you go. You can see 4.4 amps is coming out of the inverter. Now, I'll turn off the 240 volt light. I'll turn the 12 volt one on. Oh, hang on, no, I better not. I'll turn off the 240 volt light, and you'll see it drop down. See how it's dropping down now? So, there you go. So right now, every single 240 volt outlet is running through my inverter, which is really cool. And, my batteries, they're more than handling it. And, when I want to go back to the grid, just remember I can do all this on my phone on the app. I'm just showing you guys this way because I'm using my phone to record this, of course. So, there's the little screen. There you go, back to the grid. Just like that. Now, this one is automatic mode. You see how both of them are there? You got DC and then you got the grid. Now if I press that again, oh, hang on, what did I do? Okay, there you go. Press it again, now the grid is off. So it is strictly inverter mode at the moment. Now that's what I want to have it set up with, and then just have a remote switch and turn it off. and when you turn it off it just defaults back to the grid anyway, and when you turn it on, starts up, boom, back to the inverter. So I think that's a really cool, very modern transfer switch. I haven't seen anything else like this one as a separate entity from an inverter charger. So yeah, fantastic, cool little thing. It is dearer than a lot of the other ones, but given what you're getting, it's well worth it. So yeah, so I had to run all my 240 volt cabling, or yeah, cabling, that's the right word I guess, or wiring. So this is all 3-core 2.5mm squared. It's rated at 25 amps continuous running rate. So my Caravan is hooked up to, you know, just a standard Caravan mains breaker, which is 16 amp. So none of this is going to ever get pushed. Like, that's an 80 amp transfer switch. This can handle running at 25 amp, and then the breaker breaks at 16 amp. So I will turn this light back on, and I will just quickly show. Okay, so this is my new mains switch. So that there is a proper main switch, so 16 amp, and it's a 2-pole, so it's made for 2 actives. So you have the you have the inverter load running through this, and then you have the grid load running through this. So that protects both sides of the transfer switch, and then the load coming out of the transfer switch, which of course goes back to the Caravan's mains, is just wired directly in now. That's how I did it. It's the simple way. So basically, in essence, I pulled this thing out, hooked in my cable from the transfer switch, and disconnected this one's original cable from the mains, and then I turned around and wired in the load from the transfer switch straight into the mains of the Caravan, which is the safest and best way to do it. And all the earths all run back to the inverter, which is grounded. It has a 70mm square ground going straight to the chassis, and also the load goes to the mains of the Caravan, which is also earthed. So that's fantastic. It's got 2 earths, so really nice and safe. No problems there. Right, I'll take you back into the Caravan now. Right, the other thing I've done is I've just turned around, and I used to have 2 15 amp chargers, so I swapped out one of them for this 20 amp. Reason why I did that is my 250 watt panel what was I going to say? My 250 watt panel would max out the 15 amp charger and still have 30 watts more left that the 15 amp charger couldn't utilize on a really good sunny day. So this 20 amp will more than cover the 250 watt solar panel, and yeah, basically I'm getting the full potential out of my solar panels now. This one here is only hooked up to 120 watts, so it's more than capable of handling that. But yeah, a Black Friday deal came up, and the representatives of Victron here in New Zealand sent me a 30% off code because I've shopped with them in the past, and yeah, I was able to get this at a really good discount, so that was fantastic. And yeah, worked out well. So that's now all of that sort of, well, it's all finished now and completed and full utilization of all my solar panels, so that's a nice feeling. But yeah, it's nice to be able to turn the light off and close the door on it. It's a really good feeling. It's been a tiring job. Now, as far as the caravan restoration's concerned, I haven't really done that much lately. I've still got to finish off this nice bit that I started. I also want to finish off this. I started doing a bit more sanding on it and prep work to get this a bit better the finish, like, so you don't see runs of silicone everywhere and stuff. So I'm going to finish that off, and then I'll take you through to the bathroom. Oh, just got to be careful coming through here. Alright. Okay. I don't think I showed this in the last video. For where the toilet hatch used to go, I riveted in a large section of alloy to cover what used to be the hatch, and now the solar panel of course sits over the top of that. And then I made up this wooden piece, which is basically a sandwich. It's got a sheet of ply on top of it and a sheet of ply beneath it, and then expanding foam in here, and then I inserted this in. I had to I actually just used an angle grinder and slowly ground the top of this down to the right shape where it fitted in this roof nicely. So now I can sand down the top here and boggle this and get it all level. And with this, I'm just going to get one of those nice cable covers that has sort of like a right angle and runs across. So that'll be easy enough and look quite nice once it's all finished. So yeah, that's the next step, is I've got to bog that. But lately I've been sort of a bit preoccupied or distracted with doing up my air compressor as well, which has been quite just it's been a nice little fun side project. Right, so I'll come back out here now. Right, gosh, got to be careful coming through here. It's a bit of a construction zone at the moment. Ouch. Prove me point for myself. Yeah, so one thing I'd like to say is there are a lot of people out there who are looking for an alternative, and this Mohs transfer switch is definitely the way to go. I don't think there is a more user friendly transfer switch on the market at the moment, but hey, you know, don't take my word for it. Have a look, do your own research. Also have a look at their little quick YouTube videos. You'll find ones on this thing's older brother, the 40 amp version, which was also a great one, but it didn't have Bluetooth built in or an app that you could, you know, download and control this thing with. So yeah, have a good old look and see what you think for yourselves. But I strongly recommend anybody to buy this one. It's really good. Okay then, that's about all for now, and yeah, until next time. And if I haven't put an update video on before Christmas, Merry Christmas to everybody and have a Happy New Year, and yeah, enjoy yourselves, but not too much. Catch ya!